Get started here in a minute. GM everybody, we'll get started here in just a minute. I know that the engineering call was running a little bit long, so I'm going to give them an extra minute here to get finished up and hopefully come on in. Once I start seeing some of that group of people in here, I'll get started. Again, to everyone who's just coming in, we are getting started a little bit late. The stand-up was running over, so I'm just giving them a few minutes to hop in here. Once I start seeing some of those names pop up, I'll get this meeting started. Thank you. Alright, I haven't seen them start coming in yet, but I don't want to take up too much of anyone's time here, so I'm going to get started. GM everyone, today is March 7th, 2022, and we are about to commence the weekly up sprint. First up, we have support and Donna. GM Donna, how are you?
GM Ron, GM everybody, good. Well, for last week support stats, we had 179 new tickets. This is a decrease of 2% from last week's report and a 21% decrease from an 8-week average. Full resolution median time is currently up to 3 hours this week. First reply time is at 27 minutes. 65% of the tickets were resolved in one touch. Total solved tickets is at 184. This is a 10% decrease from last week's report. And then not much change in the ticket drivers last week. Fortis still tops the list, followed by beta ShapeShift.com wallet concerns, and then mobile app concerns. And then other support updates. Foxed Up campaign has passed, and as promised, we are sharing the view only doc of the Fox tracker for this campaign. And then the link is on the spreadsheet. And then lastly, support community call is coming up this week, March 9th, 3 p.m. MST, and we hope to see you guys there. That's it for me today, and have a great week, everybody.
GM Donna, thank you for those updates. Next up, we have Hunt and the Growth and Globalization workstream. And I was told to add the education team in. I don't know if there'll be someone representing the team for that, or if you'll cover that as well.
I'll cover it. It's all good. Yeah, so LATAM's going to E3O this week, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to be coordinating a little bit with them, so I'll probably be tied up a little bit there. Education is going to have regularly scheduled calls. We're going to continue the conversation and building with Share. In terms of like further education team stuff, T Wells is going to start doing some video production for the Share intro. So that'll be pretty cool. The SCP-67 is in ideation. It should go to Snapshot tomorrow, I believe, as long as continued support still stands. Toasty and I think we have a call today, I think 4 p.m. Eastern, to discuss like branding and partnership strategy, planning on that front. And we have some ongoing discussions with TDM and Meta Factory for merch designs and promo and launches and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's that for us. Thanks, Ron.
Awesome. And then the education team. I don't know if you want to read that off too.
Yeah, I mean that's really just like the share stuff with T Wells right now. This week, I mean Seth's doing like a few things here and there, but we have like regularly scheduled calls. I think we have one tomorrow, maybe at 10:30 or 1:30 Eastern. I'm not too sure off the top of my head, but yeah, look out for that.
Awesome. I'm checking the calendar real quick. Yep, 10:30 a.m. tomorrow Mountain Standard Time. Thank you, Hunt, for those updates. Next up,
Thanks,
we have
Ron.
Pete Coin and the marketing workstream. GM Pete Coin.
GM, everybody. So busy week for us on the marketing work stream. First things first, we are continuing conversations with staking rewards and crypto.com, just getting the final details on those in some documents, and then I'll be putting them on the forum for everybody to discuss and making announcements in the Discord for everybody to like look at them. They're interesting opportunities both, but require large budgetary commitments. And so we want to get feedback from everybody and see if it's a good idea to move forward. And I'm just gathering all the information to make sure that people can make a decision and ask the right questions. Continuing to collaborate between marketing, creative service, and artists to create more multimedia from our high quality written content. And in that vein, vetting 2 new artists through Gray and Hoff right now. New DeFi strategy article series, that outline is beginning. If you guys haven't seen what that looks like, we went over it in the marketing call every Monday, and there's one coming up a little later today, but it starts with an outline and then moves through interviews and article reviews, and it's a really cool process. We are going to try to build more ETH Denver follow-up content, especially based off of some other content that we've seen come out, as well as Kent's interview on the Defiant. And then more data. A revamp of the metrics reporting is coming within the next 2 weeks, and that should cover staking and all of the goals that are in our proposal for SCP-51. GM.
Awesome. Thank you so much for those updates, Pete Coin. Next up, we have Jankin and the Mod Squad. GM Jankin.
GM. The member ads for the last 14 days was 82, and the last 7 was 47. It's kind of keeping around steady. over the weekend, we reworked some rooms. The partner rooms are no longer around. They are now turned into threads, and as people get used to them, but they seem to be working rather well. And in the last merge for Carl, there was only a couple things that need to be done, and now I can start looking at removing Carl. Say goodbye to Carl.
Goodbye, Carl. Thank you for those updates, Jenkin. Next up, we have Diggy and the product team. GM Diggy.
GM. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff going on. The Yacht bounty, we're trying to move that forward. We're trying to sync up with Volley from the Yacht team in an effort to talk about some more specifics around that and keep that moving forward. Pendo, for those of you in the engineering stand-up today, you probably heard me mention it there. We are trying to get a staging environment up and running and started training on how to use Pendo and get guides set up. Our notion for the product and creative services workstream, we had somebody from the education team last week make some requests on how we can improve the information there. So we are making those updates on the roadmap, and inside the roadmap, there will be direct links to the specs. So it'll be just easier to follow along with everything going on and the statuses of each of the projects. Foxy, we are doing usability testing this week. We got the prototype ready last week and got the script ready. So for those of you who have signed up for usability testing, we do have a lot of people that signed up, but we will be reaching out probably to between 3 and 5 of them this week to assist us with that. And then we are finalizing some additional product specs to hopefully become bounties and working on the bounty process docs. Willie Fox has been doing a deep dive into that, making some changes based on the conversations we had a couple weeks ago with engineering, everybody, and hopefully we'll get that into a good place. And then design changes just across a bunch of projects that are in flight to coincide with the new UI updates that we made to the platform. And that's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Diggy, for those updates. Next up, we have DeFi Cafe and Engineering. GM DeFi, welcome to your first week as the Ops Sprint leader for engineering.
Thank you. I guess I was around for this last week, but didn't run it the first time. But all right, engineering retreat this week. So we're all up the mountains and meeting people in person that we haven't met before, which is great. Please bear with engineering this week, just in terms of responsiveness. This is much like the product sync, where consider us kind of largely unavailable. We're still going to try and do the Tuesday release, maybe the Thursday release, depending how we're going. Highest level goal is Cosmos for March 28th, the base functionality. Looking at the milestones across Unchained, Lib, and Web, I think we're in a much better position than that date for at least the base functionality. So we might be able to ship something without doing a big marketing push, just for like send, receive, transaction history, market data, things like that. Speaking of Cosmos, thank you to operations broadly for the GOAT, no GOATs. There's going to be a lot of those happening. Kind of everything's just falling into place. A lot of things are coming out like Pendo and otherwise, but we've got the first GOAT, no GOAT for Cosmos this afternoon, which is great. There's going to be a bunch of Unchained bounties coming. We kind of did like a knowledge transfer with Kevin. We've got Elmart back as well. So there's going to be, I think, about 5 or 6 bounties coming out of that, and just generally like getting some more horsepower on Unchained. But yeah, overall, like I said, Cosmos is still the top priority. That's pretty much it. And then we've had just stats-wise for last week, 74 PRs across 4 repos, 2 new contributors, 7 bounties created, and 5 closed successfully. So things are going well there. And again, at a very high level, we're trying to focus on that more and more. It's going to be one of the topics at the engineering retreat, how we can kind of scale out by bountying more things out there. So I'll hand it over to Mr. Nerdhead for security updates.
GM, everybody. This week, major focus from security is on supporting the product efforts with the new Pendo and Alpha stuff. We're also going to be prepping a risk assessment for some upcoming infrastructure level security upgrades that are tentatively scheduled for next Monday. There are A few RDP remediations that we're working on right now, mostly keep key stuff. I'm in contact with the researcher on that, and we're getting, fleshed out what the specific issues are and what the priority is and how to get those fixed. I believe the Foxy kickoff is also our project review meeting. I guess probably not kickoff is this week, and we'll be providing security support for that as well. Engineering's out this week, but security is not. So if you do have some sort of burning engineering question, feel free to hit me up, and maybe I can help fill in for some of the availability there.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Nerdhair, for those updates. Next up, we have Operations and Tyler. GM Tyler.
GM Rod, GM Foxes. From Ops this week, we, in our triage report, had only 2 issues reported. 0 of those were resolved. We're still digging into those. As we move over into GitHub, we may be retiring some of our protocols and procedures around triage to make sure that we're always as efficient. But for now, we're still going to keep using that. So please feel free to use the triage channel, use the report issues channel to report issues that you may see throughout your experience with the apps and anything inside the ShapeShift environment. We're updating the testing agreement, and now with these new tests, we are now decreasing a full regression test frequency to 1 test per week. That'll usually happen on Fridays, just so we can clean up after a week of releases. So this is a massive shift from us doing it previously in old centralized ShapeShift twice a day to us previously in iterations of the DAO about every other day. So now to just once a week, that should show up pretty majorly inside our testing budget line there. Wesley and Max are still training, so you may see them inside deployment threads, showing off bugs and things like that. We are writing bounties in the new needs engineering and needs product framework that DeFi and Tiggy have worked on in this new way for all of us to write bounties. And there is a new tag as well for needs operations for bounty hunter PRs that may be ready to be tested before they get to deployment status. So we will be doing our part there with those. And then previously kind of hinted at by DeFi, we've got Go to Palooza coming up with a whole bunch of go-no-goes happening for a whole bunch of projects. And my little 2-second spiel on go-no-goes is that these are all pretty important, and some of these features may seem very small that you're working on, but they may have an impact to a greater number of work streams. So doing these meetings allows us to do discovery on very specific details of things for other work streams and allows us to launch all of these features successfully. I don't know in the new DAO if we continue to scale, if we'll just be in kind of the year of the goat and we'll just forever have some amount of go-no-goes in progress. But this week and next week, you should have a reach out from an ops assistant or myself for go-no-goes relating to the keep key settings, to gem integration, to Foxy, to Cosmos and Osmos work, to the new Pendo site, to the demo wallet, and then eventually, kind of once all those Legos are together, a much larger umbrella go-no-go about us pushing all of our users to app.shapeshift.com instead of beta.shapeshift.com. So if you have any questions about these things, if you feel that you need to be involved inside a go-no-go that you are not currently, please reach out to Ops in Ops public chat. Please reach out to any of the ops people that are assigned to these. They should be reaching out to you, starting threads, starting DMs, just kind of organizing all of our ducks. And then this week we've got Neverwas as our operations leads for releases. Sounds like we'll be at least be doing one on Tuesday, and then we'll circle the wagons on Thursday. So that's it from ops. GM.
GM Tyler. To follow up on GoToPalooza, we have the first of the GoToPalooza today at, I believe, 3 or 4 MST for the Cosmos 325 target date. If you or your workstream have anything for that release date, if you could please get it on the Goat No Goat. I did send out an email, I think it was last week early, to some key stakeholders, and they included a link, and I also included it this morning when I tagged you for the op sprint. Next up, we have Tokenomics and Kent. GM Kent.
Hey Ron, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad, man. So I don't have anything as exciting as Goatapalooza for tokenomics. It's hard to top that, but a couple interesting updates here. So you guys might remember that as part of our new liquidity mining phase, this is accompanied by an aggressive purchase of our own liquidity via the Foxy ETH Olympus bond. This is one of those things that we want to be very meticulous with executing, especially as we kick it off. Your intrepid bond committee, luckily, has the expertise to kind of figure out exactly our best course of action. So they've been deliberating on that. So thank you, bond committee, for doing that work. I imagine we might start to actually implement those purchases on a wider scale shortly. We'll give further updates when that's available. Also on the governance side, John has moved his VFox proposal to ideation. VFox is a sub-DAO, a proposed sub-DAO that would be dedicated to investing in very early stage projects that could be a good fit for us. Basically seed rounds, things like that, similar to what we did with Silo Finance. There would be a bond, or not a bond committee, a VFox committee of myself, John, and Willie under this proposal dedicated to making those decisions. Initially would be funded up to $1 million worth of USDC or Fox. So, this doesn't immediately, set aside oodles of money. It's just more of a gradual implementation. But there's a lot of details in there, so give it a look. In terms of getting everyone paid out for Feb, we have executed the necessary TMDC decisions on that one. So just as a reminder, we're pulling those funds partially from our stack of stable coins, but in order to reduce our impact on our stables, we're also pulling on, we're selling up to $100,000 worth of toke rewards, or I should say precisely $100,000 worth of toke. And we're also accompanying that with another nominal Fay loan, pulling a couple $100,000 from that. So this is a good balance. So we're continuing, we're leveraging these other tools, and especially leveraging things like toke rewards, which we're getting by virtue of our large Fox deposit into Tokamak. It's a great way to really utilize that. And meanwhile, it allows our stack of stables to grow. I just did some quick napkin math. This makes me super happy, but even after pulling from payroll, I believe we'll be at around 3 million of stables early this week. So that's, we're about 30% towards our goal of 10 million, and 3 million is a hell of a lot better than zero. So ongoing progress there. We'll talk more in detail about that and other stuff during our chat tomorrow, 4 p.m. Mountain Time. So see you guys there.
Awesome. Always a super interesting conversation at the Tokenomics office hours. Next up, we have Fox Foundation and Willie Fox and Ocean, I believe. GM Willie Fox and Ocean.
GM Ron, GM Foxes, GM Goats. Kent just
everyone.
following up. GM. Kent following up. Just wanted to confirm that those transactions for payroll have been executed. So we sold $100,000 worth of toke. We borrowed an additional $200K from our Rari pool, and we are all set for payroll this month. And yes, I agree. It's great to see the stablecoin balances increase. So to start it off with Fox Foundation updates. First off, the Foxy proposal has passed. Congrats, Ocean, and congrats to all Foxes on that one. And a quick update on Foxy. The draft contracts have been deployed, and the audit is currently in progress on those contracts. As long as the audit returns no critical or blocking issues, launch is on track for March 22nd. But a lot is riding on that contract audit, so TBD how that goes. Fingers crossed for a successful, clean audit. Also last week, somewhat miscellaneous, but we submitted an application to the DAO Diplomacy game. This was we got invited to participate in this at ETH Denver. I think every DAO got a letter inviting them to play. And the application asked some really interesting questions like, are you decentralized? Are you autonomous? Are you an organization? So it was fun filling that out. I invite everyone to check out that application and see our responses to that. Not sure what next steps will be there, but we've applied and we'll keep everyone updated there. Also, quick success token update. Shared this on the tokenomics call last week, but in case you missed it, the initial close for the success token happened. So the DAO received 625,000 USDC and transferred the proportional amount of success tokens. And the investors in this first batch include Coinbase Ventures, Chapter 1, and Griff Green. If you guys don't know Griff, he's the founder of Giveth and is a big DAO OG in the space. Definitely one of my favorite people in the space. And Chapter 1 is a really awesome product-focused Web3 venture fund. And Coinbase Ventures, I think you guys are all familiar with. So some really awesome investors there. We do still have some success tokens remaining to sell. So we're looking at our options there. One potential route is to just put these tokens up on Uniswap v3 and let anyone have access to them. So stay tuned. We're also working with Uma and Lindsay on the announcement of this. Also today at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, we're going to have a discussion around the DAO's partner strategy in the general voice channel. Anyone's welcome to attend that. The TLDR here is that in a world of potentially infinite partnership opportunities, how can the DAO optimize our focus here so that we're getting the best bang for our Fox? And last but not least, just an update that the foundation's formation is still in progress. I think the latest goal we had was for April 1st to be fully formed, and I know we're working towards that. Still not guaranteed we'll hit that date, but that is the goal. Regardless, the foundation team is still doing everything we can to support the DAO in the meantime. But until then, there's still some things that we can't yet do. For example, I know there's some accounts that work streams like growth and marketing are excited to get a hold of. Unfortunately, we're blocked on being able to help get access to those until the foundation is formed. But hopefully soon. Ocean, anything else that you want to add?
Nope, just thanks for all the community support on Foxy. Pretty excited that that's getting out there. I'm not sure if Toshi's in the audience, but he's been working very diligently with a lot of the different work streams that have been supporting him to get that work out. And so, yeah, I'm just excited to see that move forward with the blessing of the broader community.
Same. Can't wait for Foxy. Thank you for the moral support up here as well.
As always, Willie, anytime.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for those updates. If anyone else in the audience has anything, speak now, or else we can give everyone just a few minutes left. I know we got started a little bit late, so hopefully we can get back on track today. I'll bring Lo-Fi back on the stage now. Doesn't look like anyone's typing, so I'm going to wish everyone a good